So, are you people able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very,
Yes, sir.
very good, very good. So today, basically, what I will be talking about is about prokaryotic cells. So, the chapter is prokaryote, archaea, eukaryotic cells. So I will be talking about prokaryotic cells. So let me share my screen. First, let's share what is the definition of prokaryotic cells. The definition of prokaryotic cell, it is also pronounced as prokarya. Prokaryote. It's the same spelling. P-R-O-K-A-R-Y-O-T-E, P-R-O-C-A-R-Y-O-T-E. So basically, they have the spelling is same. The marks will not be deducted. So they are organisms which lack a distinct nucleus and other organelles due to the absence of internal membranes. Like you had seen in the endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, there were internal membranes, there were membranes, mitochondria membranes. So these prokaryotic cells, they don't have organelles with internal membranes. So the bacteria are among the best known prokaryotic organisms. So we can say that the lack of internal membranes in prokaryotes, it distinguishes them from eukaryotes. Also, we know that the prokaryotic cell membrane is made up of phospholipids and it constitutes the cell's primary osmotic barriers. So phospholipids are a type of lipid that have a phosphate group and another group. We will talk about this in much details when we talk about plasma membrane. I'll be when I don't know who's going to teach you plasma membrane, but in plasma membrane they will be teaching you what are phospholipids, sphingolipids, and all these things. Okay, and then you know the cytoplasm contains ribosomes that carry out protein synthesis and a double-stranded deoxyribonucleic acid chromosomes. Okay, so may I request one of you, your mic is on, could you put it off? Don't worry about it, somebody's mic is on, just mute your mic because there is a television moving there and sound is coming. Okay. So many prokaryotes also contain additional circular DNA molecules called plasmids. So they have got little circular molecule DNA molecules. They are known as plasmids with additional dispensable cell functions such as encoding proteins to inactivate antibodies. এই কেউ একটা মিউট করো না, তোমাদের আওয়াজ পাচ্ছে, টিভি চলছে। Some prokaryotes have flagella. Okay. So I will now stop sharing and I will go to the next part. Pritodip, mute karo. Okay, so now let me go back to the main topic where I'll be talking. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. I will for you people must study the place where I've highlighted in yellow. I will pass this on in the Google Classroom. So we have seen what a prokaryotic cell are. So prokaryotic cells are always bounded by a chemically complex cell wall. Inside this wall and separated from it by a periplasmic space lies the plasma membrane. This membrane can be invaginated to form simple internal membranous structure. Since the prokaryotic cell does not contain any internal membrane bound or organelles, its interior appears to be morphologically simple. The genetic material is localized in a discrete region known as the nucleoid, and it is not separated from the surrounding cytoplasm by membranes. Ribosomes and larger masses called inclusion bodies are scattered about in the cytoplasmic matrix. So, what does this mean? This means they have got a simple structure. They are bounded by they are bounded by a cell wall outside. Inside the cell wall, there is a space known as periplasmic space, and then comes the plasma membrane. So plasma membrane, periplasmic cell wall. So that is how the order is. And the space between the cell wall and the plasma membrane is the periplasmic space. So this membrane can be invaginated to form simple internal membrane structure. So the plasma membrane inside it can invaginate and form small structures. I'm drawing how it may look like. So you have outside you have a cell wall, a firm cell wall. Inside you have a plasma membrane. It can be invaginated like this. Inside the plasma membrane. So this is the cell wall outside.
For the adjunctions the use, distribution and control of water or any interstate river or a river.
Cell wall. This is the cell wall. And this is the plasma membrane.
To investigate and discuss
And the space in between here
a subject of common interest.
the space here, this is known as the periplasmic space. So this is what I meant. It can be invaginated. So these foldings which you can say, they are invaginated. Okay, let's go below. So what are there are several structures. So what are the structures? It can be outside a plasma membrane. So what is the function of a plasma membrane? It is a selectively permeable barrier. By selectively permeable barrier, you mean a barrier which selectively allows some molecules to go and it stops other molecules from going inside. And it is also a mechanical boundary of cell. So it's a mechanical boundary of cell. I think somebody's microphone is on. Please mute yourself. If you have questions, only then unmute. Okay. So say a nutrient and waste. So what happens? Nutrient and waste transport also occurs through this plasma membrane. So waste materials pass this plasma membrane, makes channel through which waste materials are removed outside. And this plasma membrane also does something that certain nutrient substances enter into the cell. So this plasma membrane acts like a transport place. And it is also contains small organelles for respiration and photosynthesis. Then there are organelles known as gas vacuoles. For floating bacteria, this helps in buoyancy, in floating. Then you have the ribosomes, which are responsible for protein synthesis. You have inclusion bodies, they store carbohydrates, phosphate, and other substances. Then the nucleoid. So I think it's better if I can sort of increase the size a bit. So they have ribosomes, which are responsible for protein synthesis, inclusion bodies, which are for storage of carbohydrate, carbon, phosphate, and other substances. Then you have the nucleoid. Nucleoid is the region, its localization of genetic material, that is the DNA. Then the periplasmic space, I have told that it contains hydrolytic enzymes and binding proteins for nutrient processing and uptake. Hydrolytic enzymes, they digest, like you saw in the lysosomes. You don't have lysosomes over here, but this periplasmic space contain hydrolytic enzymes which digest food materials which are coming inside. Okay, then the cell wall, it gives bacteria shape and protection from lysis in dilute solutions. Then you have the capsules and slime layers. So they provide resistance to phagocytosis. So that slime, or it's the slimy or slippery stuff which is on top. So whenever any cell amoeba is going to phagocytose a bacteria, because of the slimy nature, it slips out. So this helps, and slime also helps to adhere to the surface. And you have the fimbriae and pili, which are present. They are attachment to surfaces, and they are also required during bacterial mating. It's a special thing we will read about later. Then the flagella is present, which is present for movement, and endospore. So survival under harsh environmental condition, they go into a spore formation. So in harsh environmental conditions, these bacteria can survive. They are going to a dormant condition. So let us have a look at this particular bacteria. It's a bacteria. So you can see this is the flagella. This is the, you can see the flagella over here. Then outside you see the capsule and slimy layer. Then below that you have this brown colored cell wall. Then you have the white colored periplasmic space in between. So I'll increase the size much more so you can see it much better. So this white color we have space, this is the capsule. Below the capsule is the cell wall, then periplasmic space. Then you have the plasma membrane, and you have the cytoplasm inside, and nuclear region known as nucleoid. There is no membrane, and you have little inclusion bodies which store carbohydrates, proteins, and stuff like glycogen and all these stuff. And there are, in some of them, you have the S layers present, and you have the flagellum. So the plasma membrane, you know that it encompasses the cytoplasm of both prokaryote as well as eukaryotic cells. So let us have a look at the plasma membrane of a bacteria. So the bacterial plasma membranes, they have a higher proportion of protein than eukaryotic membranes. So bacterial membranes have more protein than eukaryotic membranes. Because they have their proteins, they fulfill the many other functions like respiration and other so many functions because they don't have any organelles. So like every membrane, we will study about the plasma membrane in details. It is a lipid bilayer. While the outer sides are hydrophilic, that is outer side of this plasma membrane, which you see the outer sides outside and the inside and outside, the outer sides, they are hydrophilic, that is they love water. And the inner side in between the plasma membrane, the between layer, that is hydrophobic, and that is an amphipathic molecule. We will discuss this in when you study the plasma membrane in more details. So they are amphipathic, that is both hydrophobic and hydrophilic. So the lipids are basically phospholipids. Let us see figure 3.5. So if you look, this is a single thing. Over here you have a ethanolamine or phosphatidylcholine or phosphatidylinositol. You have this molecule ethanolamine or serine or inositol or ethanolamine, whatever. You have this, to attach to this is a phosphate, and to the phosphate is attached a glycerol chain, and below to this glycerol chain is added a 2 fatty acids. So essentially they have got a structure so like this. So they have got a structure like this. They have a structure like this. And let's draw it on the other end. They have a structure like this. So this region, this is hydrophobic, and this region, this is hydrophilic. So this is how basically a plasma membrane looks like. So they are the one difference between eukaryote and prokaryotic plasma membrane is that there is no cholesterol in prokaryotes, but you have molecules like hopanoids. So this is a hopanoid molecule, and this is a cholesterol molecule. Cholesterol is not present. So cell membranes are very thin structure, up like 5 to 10 nanometer thick, and can only be seen in the electron microscope. So the most widely accepted model is the fluid mosaic model. It is the fluid mosaic model which is accepted. So let us look at the prokaryotic cell. So outside you can see this is the lipid bilayer, phospholipids. This pink color, these are the phospholipids. Then you have integral proteins which span throughout. Then you have some proteins known as peripheral proteins. And you have lipid molecules attached to these known as glycolipids. Then to these proteins you have oligosaccharides, carbohydrates attached. Then you have membrane spanning integral membrane proteins. So you know that this particular region, the region in the center, is hydrophobic, and the region outside, that is hydrophilic. So this is the essential structure of a plasma membrane of a bacteria. Integral protein, peripheral proteins. Then you have the hydrophobic region here. You have, instead of cholesterol, you have hopanoid molecules over here in bacteria. In eukaryotes, you have cholesterol. So this is the structure of a plasma membrane. Another thing which is present is structures known as mesosomes. So mesosomes are invagination of the plasma membrane in the shape of vesicles, tubules, or lamellae. So here is a electron microscope picture of a mesosome. So you have the bacteria, you have a nucleoid region where the DNA or genetic material is present, and this region you find here, these are the mesosomes, and these little black spots you find, they are inclusion bodies. So these mesosomes are often found next to the septa or close walls in dividing bacteria, and sometimes seems attached to the bacterial chromosomes. They may be involved in cell wall formation during division or play a role in chromosome replication and distribution to daughter cells. Now we go to the cytoplasmic matrix. So the cytoplasmic matrix is the substance lying between plasma membrane and nucleoid. So this gray region, this is the nucleoid and this is the plasma membrane outside. This gray region, this is the cytoplasmic matrix. So the cytoplasmic matrix is the substance lying between plasma membrane and the nucleoid. The matrix is largely water, about 70% of bacterial mass is water. So the plasma membrane and everything within it is known as the protoplast. You remove the cell wall and capsule, what is left is the protoplast. Thus the cytoplasmic matrix is the major part of the protoplast. Next, we come to inclusion bodies. So you have a variety of little bodies known as inclusion bodies, or granules of organic or inorganic materials that are clearly visible in a light microscope, like you seen in the last picture. These bodies usually are used for storage, that is carbon compounds, inorganic substances and energy, and also reduce osmotic pressure. Okay. So some inclusion bodies are not bounded by membrane and lie free in the cytoplasm. Let us have a look at the inclusion bodies. You had seen inclusion bodies here. These little granules, these are inclusion bodies, these black granules, you can see they are inclusion bodies. So after some time, what happens will, I will be going for shortly for 1 minute or so. I will be leaving the meeting. You people can join with the same link if possible. Just rejoin with the same link. That's not a big deal. I will just be off for 1 or 2 minutes. I'll be leaving. So another type of inclusion body is the gas vacuoles, which is present in many cyanobacteria. These vacuoles present, they help it. See, gas vacuoles. These little vacuoles you see in the electron microscope, they are gas vacuoles. They help it to cigar shape, gas vacuoles. These are gas vacuoles. Cigar shaped. Then you have the ribosomes. The cytoplasmic matrix is often packed with ribosomes. they may be loosely attached to the plasma membrane. Ribosomes look like small featureless particles at low magnification in the electron microscope. They are the site of protein synthesis. Matrix ribosomes synthesize proteins destined to remain with the cells. So the ribosomes in the free ribosomes or the matrix ribosomes, they synthesize proteins which remain inside the cell. And there are some ribosomes which are attached to the plasma membrane. And these ribosomes which are attached to the plasma membrane, they are for proteins which are going to be secreted outside. The prokaryotic ribosomes are smaller than the eukaryotic ribosomes. They are known as the 70S ribosomes. They have a dimension of 14 to 15 nanometer by 20 nanometer. It is a molecular weight of approximately 2.7 million. The next part, you can see this is a magnetotactic bacteria. They have got these black colors, which you have, they are magnetic particles. So based on the Earth's magnetic field, these magnetic inorganic inclusion bodies, they are inclusion bodies, but inorganic inclusion bodies, they make the orient the particular organism to towards the Earth's magnetic field. So they get oriented in the Earth's magnetic field. If it's the north side, it will get oriented towards the north. So this is a fantastic, interesting thing in bacteria. Then you have the nucleoid region, and they don't have a nuclear membrane. The one striking difference from that of eukaryote is that they don't have nuclear regions. Okay, so I'll just leave for just a couple of minutes. You people join through the same link with which you have joined. Okay, I'll just leave for just as a few seconds.